All right, y'all, this Big Rich. First, foremost, I want to say, what I'm saying, to all the people that's in Jamaica, I want to definitely, what I'm saying, hopefully y'all made it through, man. I seen the storm. It looked like it was bigger than the whole island. You know what I'm saying? F5, I had reports of 200 to 240 miles an hour winds. Man, I hope y'all made it out, man. That's crazy. You would think about, what type of storm that was, man. I seen some waves, man, that was almost 20 feet high. It's just 20, 30 feet high waves, man. It just looked crazy out there. Anyway, shouts out to Jamaica, man. And anybody that passed away, man, rest in peace, man. That was a storm, man. There ain't no way out. You know what I'm saying? So, shouts out to Jamaica. Anyway, let's get into it. A few issues that we can deal with today. One of them is called due process. And I don't believe our president is giving people due process. And what I mean by that is that if you discover a boat that's coming to the United States from another country and you think that it has drugs on it, well, you have the ability to send another boat or helicopters or whatever out there to seize it. It's simple. It's not hard. And if they are selling drugs, arrest them, bring them to trial. That's due process. I don't think what Trump is doing right now is American. Now, that is sending a message to the drug dealers you better not come this way. Now, I agree with Trump on that, but you still have to have due process, because without due process, we don't have this thing called America. And I know the Supreme Court allowed Trump to have immunity, which was very, very wrong for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it opened to a lot of different doors by them doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so killing people, Trump, he said that. He literally said it when he was campaigning in 2016, that he can go downtown New York, shoot somebody, downtown Manhattan, and shoot somebody and won't even get in trouble for it. Well, he just killed, I don't know how many people. It was, maybe 20, 30 people, between all the boats that he done shot out of the water. Blew them up from the air. Boom. Now, if they were selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? And they were killing Americans, that's a gray area. That's a gray area because, Trump is in charge of protecting the American people. So you can look at it like that too. It's two sides, but we still have to understand that we have to have due process, And the thing about it is that if we went and seized the boat, right? And then we let the boat go, and the boat didn't turn back around and go back towards their country, and they still tried to head back towards America, then, you still wouldn't have the right to shoot them, from the sky in a drone. But at the same time, Barack Obama killed a lot of people with drones, and they didn't get no due process. They was labeled as terrorists, and they was smoked. He was smoking people at weddings. So you got to look at it from both sides. It's a gray area, and I think Trump is using that ability to be able to make it cool to off people. And that's just my opinion. I don't think he really gives a shit about fentanyl and people dying of drugs, but he campaigned on it, so he's only living up to what he said. He didn't say he was going to be offing people, but he did say he was going to be harsh on people that's bringing drugs in the country.
Now keep left to take exit gate B.
My thing about it is, when we talk about politics, is that what Americans need to do, we all need to come together, Republicans, Independents, Democrats, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, whatever. We all need to come together to decide on if we want to keep running this country as a melting pot and we're going to be Americans, or are we going to let it go? If we're going to let it go, you keep giving Trump all these new rights, and the Supreme Court is going to allow this country to get taken over by a dictator. Now, it's funny because Trump said that he wanted to be a dictator from day one. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So, a lot of stuff that Trump said, y'all didn't really believe. Y'all was just saying, oh, that's just Trump talking. I never believed that he was just talking. I always believed him. Everything he said he wanted to do, I believed in everything he said he wanted to do. And guess what? He is doing it. And then some more. He's even taking civil rights away, voting rights. He's trying to remove monuments, pictures, all kind of things that mean something to, us Africans. You know what I mean? Or us original Americans, however you want to put it. But the thing about it is that what can you expect from a white supremacist? He's always been a white supremacist. He ain't never, just because he come hang out with Mike Tyson and some other celebrities, don't mean he ain't a white supremacy. White supremacy hang out with blacks all the time in jail. When it come time to line up and be on their gang, hey, it's gang. You know what I'm saying? So you dealing with white supremacy every day. And you just don't realize it. Okay? When you go to the doctor, white nationalist. When you go to lawyers, white nationalist. These people follow that doctrine. That's why Charlie Clark or whatever, that's why they loved him so much, because he was able to say what's on their mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you think about it, just think about this. I know it's hard to put it in numbers, but just think about it. Anytime you have someone who uses percentages, like for example, blacks are 13% of the population. Now the reason why they say, oh well, they've been pulled over maybe 50% of the time or 60% of the time. Well, just because you got pulled over, that don't mean you was convicted of anything. Because most of the time, the blacks are let go because there was a racist cop that pulled them over. You know what I'm saying? On some bogus stuff. Good example. I got pulled over 6 times because of the way I look and the way I dress in my car, and they think I'm a youngster, right? So cops normally in the Bay Area only really mess with people that's 17 to 30 years old in terms of blacks, in terms of really like harassing them. So they look like, I'm look like somebody that they're harassing. I got my hat to the side a little bit. You know what I mean? Still look young a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think I pulled over 6 times in 4 months. But guess what? Once they go do my run my check on everything that I've done, no matter what I did, whether it was speeding, reckless driving, all that good stuff, no matter what it is, they never give me a ticket. You know why? Because when they look at my age, you know what I'm saying, and then when they look at my record, they say, oh no, we got the wrong one. The last time I got pulled over was 5 police officers. Now you better believe I was scared as a mug. Now, ironically, I was driving kind of reckless because I was sleepy, right? But then I clicked on auto drive and my Tesla started driving by itself, right? So by the time they pulled me over, people was making phone calls, but from way back there though. So they still didn't give me a ticket. And that just proves my point that we are being hunted at a certain age now. Certain age that they want to get us and put us away. You know what I mean? And it's on the hunt. They're hunting you. If you're a brother, they're hunting you. Or if you a Mexican, they really hunting Mexicans big time. So understand that this is the reality that we live in. This is what a lot of people voted for. You cannot be mad at the current administration because this is what they said. And y'all voted for them. I knew all of this was coming. You know what I mean? I knew all of this was coming. Because I've been preaching for years about the same issue. You know, why would you vote against your own interests? That doesn't make sense nowhere on this planet. For you to be as broke as most of y'all are, and when I mean broke, I'm talking about someone that's making $200,000 to $300,000. You're still too broke to vote for Trump. Believe me when I tell you that. Even when you're making $1 million and up, $1 million a year, you're still too broke. He's not in your class. You know, he's in the billionaire class. So you're still too broke. He wouldn't even speak to you. Because $1 million means that even though you're making $1 million a year, you're still broke. Because you owe the government $400,000 of that. So you're still broke. You're still only like a nigga only making $600,000, really. When you really think about it. You're still too broke. So that's why Trump is literally laughing at y'all. Because he's taking your farms. And most farmers are millionaires. They're not billionaires. Or, you know, they got money. Because they got that crops coming in. They making money. But he took all their crops. And he showed them how much he really felt about them. Putting them dumbass tariffs. This is real stuff, man. You know what I mean? This big rich. I'm just giving it to y'all today. Just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.